What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. Today we are back with some engineering because we are pumping gold with this profession right now, and I've just got to dive into all the various ways that I'm personally making a lot of gold with this profession. And it is so easy, everyone can do it. You just have to go through a little bit of upfront effort and then you're making the gold, baby. Let's dive into the video. Okay, so here I am using CraftSim as my primary add-on. I want to show you how I'm using CraftSim, as I do really think that it is important. As you can see, they've had a bit of a UI change and I've updated my add-ons. So I have got that UI change now as well. Go ahead, click on CraftSim at the top, go down to options. Then when you're here, change your price source to Trade Skill Master. If you haven't got the Trade Skill Master plugin on your PC, it's basically an application that goes on your computer. You install it on your computer, then you go on the website, you create an account, and you basically connect up the various realms and regions that you are on. So for me, myself, I am on Silvermoon EU. So every hour, this is going to update the freshest prices of all the various items on Silvermoon EU. From this application here, it's then going to send the data into the game. Then CraftSim will take all that data and will show everything that I wanted to show. At this point, I'm going to have it show the most recent prices and the minimum prices, not just averages, because the default a lot of the time is actually just averages, and we don't want averages. We want the minimum actual price that it is right now. And so that's what I've set it to right here. So if you want to copy mine, you can copy mine by all means. Okay, that's done. Then we're going to open up our actual crafting profession. I'm going to go to our profession. And we're going to go down to recipe scan right here. Boom. I'm going to scan the recipe. Now, there's two ways you can scan the recipe. You can enable concentration. So if you've got concentration and you need to use it up, it's a good idea to use that up as soon as possible. Never be capped on concentration like me, because I'm a sausage. I've been on holiday. So I've got basically capped on concentration on all my characters. I need to go through and use that. But if you're doing a normal scan like we are now, just go ahead and do your scan. Now, before we kind of look into all the profit, we analyze what's profitable, what's not, all that lovely stuff, I do want to bear in mind that I have got 3 blue tools. Now, a lot of people will complain and stress out and pull their hair out, but like, I can't get 3 blue tools. I can't make profit. Go and watch my video on how to farm Artisan's Acuity. Go get all the Artisan's Acuity that you need to get 3 blue tools. If you don't do this, you are wasting your time. Go and get 3 blue tools and every knowledge point book that you possibly can. That video is going to help you in every way, shape and form to do that. Okay. Now, once you've got all your blue tools, make sure you enchant your final tool with resourcefulness. You can buy what's called a missive, which enables you to put multi-craft on that tool. When you've got multi-craft on that tool, it's going to increase the amount of items that you craft, and that's going to help us make a lot of gold using engineering. So make sure you do that. All right, so now once we've covered that, let's look at specialization points right here. The points that I focused in are basically inventing. I go straight here, straight down, then I go left, and then I go right. At that point, I then jump into devices. I've gone for explosives. No reason in particular, just I wanted to. And then after that, I've started to work on these. Got like 8 more points. May as well pop them in there. Oh, let's just cancel that. Let's just put enough in there. And I can actually learn some cool stuff here. Let's go profession gear. Yeah, why not? And I can actually take 5 more. Why not? Let's do it, dude. So yeah, go ahead, learn all the points you can, but this is the primary tree. Devices is next, I'd say. And then once we've done that, we can go ahead, scan our recipes and see what is profitable and what is not. Okay, so as we look through this, I'm going to look for things that are like, that aren't. Okay, so now we've done this, I now need to explain what rusted scraps are. Rusted scraps are basically a soul-bound piece of reagent. Rusted scraps are basically a soul-bound crafting reagent. You get this from crafting things in engineering, and you get this from killing random mobs in the world as you're going through the war within, if you are an engineer. Now, these pile of rusted scraps are used to craft particular items, and only engineers can get them. So it's quite cool in that regard. You can't buy it from the auction house. You've literally got to get them yourselves. Now, this is quite cool because you will need these to craft certain things like toys, pets, things like that from the War Within. So a lot of these things will require rusted scraps in order to craft them. And I personally want to avoid everything that requires rusted scraps to craft, as I kind of feel like I'm wasting my time with it. So anything that doesn't, and it's got a decent profit margin, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So this bottled brilliance, I actually do pretty good with this, and I sell between 50 and 100 of these every single day. So I'm going to go ahead and press shift left click, and that's going to add it to my craft queue. Now it's in my craft queue, I can actually dictate the amount I want to put it. I'm going to make 50 of them. It's going to cost me 15,339 gold, and I'm going to get about 2,650 gold profit. I'm totally fine with that. That's okay profit for me. Why not? Now let's keep going down and see what else we've got. We've got the chaos circuits. These are very expensive to craft, and it looks like the highest quality version is actually not doing great right now, but the silver quality seems to be doing okay. I wonder why that is. That's very interesting. So we might actually do some crafting of the chaos circuit there. Now I'm going to do another scan right here, and I'm actually going to select top profit quality. So let's go top profit quality and see what actually comes up now, as this might actually change the scan for me quite significantly. If it does, then I'm going to be very happy indeed. Okay, so let's have a little look here. Chaos circuits are now showing a silver quality as 91 gold, and that's pretty good for us. So I actually wouldn't mind making some of those. We're going to add in about 50 of those. Let's just double check the sale rate on those. They do have a slower sale rate, but I'm kind of okay with investing that amount of gold in. It's not that much gold. Looking through this, we've got the potion power, we've got the handful of bismuth bolts, which are gold quality. Now I really like these because these are really good for giving me additional rusted scraps. I want to generate as many of these rusted scraps as possible because that allows me to craft more profitable items in engineering. So even though this doesn't have a crazy profit margin, I'm going to go ahead and craft like 300 of these. These will sell really fast, they'll cost a lot to craft, but they will also generate rusted scraps, which I can then use to craft something a bit more profitable, such as this convincingly realistic jumper cables, or even the wormhole generator, depending on how many we're actually realistically gonna sell. So I really love those handful of bismuth bolts. The safety switches take a little bit longer. Sometimes these are a little bit more profitable, but because it's the weekend, they are definitely a little bit lower. The wiring, for example, has dropped quite significantly in price, but is still technically profitable. So I'm going to go ahead and just craft 200 of those because, yes, it's not going to make me a whole lot of gold, but it is going to generate me rusted scraps. Now, once this is all done, I'm then going to come back and look through what I actually want to craft using the rusted scraps. So I'll see you in just a second. We're going to invest 200k to get 13k profit, but we also need to bear in mind that we're going to get a lot of profit from the convincing realistic jumper cables and other things like that. So I'll see you in a second. Now, to do my crafts, I do always like to purchase an accelerated potion. I've got 99 of these. These basically increase the speed of your crafting by 30%. Pretty useful indeed to have. Now I've done that, I need to buy all the materials so I can close the recipe scan. I can make sure that I've got this here. I can create auctionator shopping list. Create, okay, that's created. Now let's go to the actual auctionator add-on. We press shopping, and then as you can see, there's our shopping list right there. Now we're just going to go ahead and buy. Now you'll see that my gold is low. I've actually got quite a lot in the mailbox, so don't worry about that at all. I'll show you in just a second what I mean. We do have a crazy sum of gold in the mailbox right now because we've been reinvesting into this profession every single day, nearly all of my gold. And that's just because when I see something profitable, I go all the way in. I invest every single penny I've got because at the end of the day, make money whilst you can, because the markets are going to change, most definitely. Okay, cool. So let's have a little look. 547,000 gold in the mailbox right now, which is pretty good. just spent 200,000 gold. And how much have we got come in? Got another 9,000 coming to us soon. All right, let's go craft. Okay, I love this crafting queue. I can just go ahead and press craft next and it will automatically work it all out for me. Now there's a really cool like log that you can use for Craft Sim, which will work out your average profit as you're going through. You just press craft log right here. Then you go ahead and you enable craft log. And that will actually work out the profit as you're crafting automatically. It will say, oh, this isn't worth any profit. Then you'll get profit from a multi-craft, so on and so forth. And that's how it works out the average profit. I find it a little bit distracting. So I actually go ahead and I disable it and then I close it because I don't really want to see it. I just know it's doing its thing and it's going to make me profit. And I don't worry too much about it at all. Now, as you can see from all this various crafting, I am getting pile of rusted scraps from absolutely everything that is being crafted. Now, this is in turn going to turn into loads and loads of gold for us. So we're just making use of that as much as possible. Okay, guys, so that's all done now. We've completely crafted everything. And as you can see now, we have 218 piles of rusted scrap. Oh, and it looks like we've got actually a little bit more handful of bismuth bolts that I could just quickly do. Hopefully that will put me to 220 rusted scraps. Hopefully, yes, he did it. Fantastic. Look at that, just finishing off the last and final few. Lovely jubbly, all complete. Now we've got 223 piles of rusted scrap, which means we can do 22 crafts. So let's pull up the recipe scan. And just looking at this recipe scan, we can see that the convincing realistic jumper cables are 166 gold profit each. And I could do like this pet here and this toy and whatever, but they actually sell really, really slow. So I'm actually going to go for the thing that sells a little bit quicker, which is these convincing realistic jumper cables. These blame redirection devices do okay, but I prefer the realistic jumper cables. They're just a little bit better for me personally. So given that we have 223 means we can make 22 of these like so. And that's going to give us 3,666 profit. Let's go ahead and buy the materials. Okay, so now we've actually done loads of crafting already. So a lot of these materials we've already got, which is fantastic. So we can go ahead and actually just craft all those. And hopefully we'll get some multi-crafts from this as well, which will be extra profitable. Okay, fantastic. So that's put us all in all at 28,000 gold, nearly 29,000 gold just for that, which is absolutely awesome. So let's head on over to the auction house and get all of this sold. Now, the way that I like to sell things is I do like to do undercutting, cancel scans, etc. And I like to take my time with it. I only sell in batches of 25 at a time. In some instances, and in some instances it's even less than that. I like to take my time and do it correctly. And just like that, guys, we have pretty much sold everything apart from the chaos circuits. The chaos circuits will go. It's just a simple matter of time. We have loads and loads of gold listed in the mailbox right there. And then we also have around just under 200,000 gold in the auction sold as well. So we've got loads and loads of gold coming through. On average, we're getting quite a huge amount of gold every single day, and it's just simply from doing the recipe scans, posting them on the auction house, moving on to the next character, doing the same thing with a different profession over and over again, and just getting that nice squeeze on every single profession for crafted stuff. Okay, guys, so it's the next morning and I've just gone through and I basically reinvested all my gold in, and here we are making gold back. We got 955,000 gold listed back. And we're doing pretty good here. So I'm just going to take all this gold and reinvest it back into making more chaos circuits, more handful of bismuth bolts, and more bottled brilliance, whimsical wiring. Is there anything else in there? I'm sure there's a few convincing realistic jumper cables, as and when I've got rusted scraps. What else is there? There's probably a few like entropy enhancers and a few gears and things like that, but not many of those. Mostly it's going to be the engineering, like typicals, like handful of bismuth bolts and whimsical wiring, and then things that I can craft using pile of rusted scraps. But boom, bang, ping, just like that, we made some more gold. Woo! Oh yeah! Can't wait for the next one. The The thing I love about engineering is the pile of rusted scraps are just really profitable. But one thing that people mess up is they don't bother with the invent. You need to make sure that you invent every time that this buff comes off. This gives you 150 multi-craft and ingenuity. So on top of already having a multi-craft tool with resourcefulness, this is why I'm getting profitable stuff when you guys aren't. It's because I'm doing the invent on top of having all the blue gear and obviously all the various knowledge points as well. This is something you guys should be definitely looking into. And if you haven't already, make sure that you get the week aura, which shows you all of the various knowledge points that you can get for your chosen profession every single week. I hope this video helped you figure out how to make gold with engineering and all the other various professions out there. I'm going to be covering perhaps some of my other professions soon. Make sure you subscribe and you join the Discord, and of course checking out gaminghero.io, which is where we share awesome gold making guides with our members. Thanks for watching, and this is Erosium out.